Hi, it's Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health. With me right now, I have Gerry Chillè. He is the partner of Healthware Labs. Gerry, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Really, really nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I understand that you have a very interesting theory about empathy in digital health. So talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on building more empathy.
Well, yeah, this really all started, it's been something of a topic in the last year and a half, 2 years, as we're working with a lot of our clients and involving patients and doctors in the conversation about how to set up digital solutions. So, our methodology is really to go there and in design thinking workshops, start conversations. What are the things that you need? And of course, all the typical things come out, well, as I'm dealing with this disease or these are the issues that come up, but then as the conversations evolve and people open up, there's a common theme across all therapeutic areas, across all cures, across really any area of people's lives, which is a seeming lack of empathy that patients and people feel as they are dealing with health situations. And this is not through any lack of effort on the part of the doctors or the nursing staff or the hospitals or caregivers. It's just that all the things that we hear about, the lack of time or only being given 7 minutes with the patients, it's just really hard to bring this in. So then imagine a world where, as we're using smartphones or other things, we tend to tune out even more. So the thing that comes up in conversation then is, well, how can you expect to really help people when you don't even have the human touch, human conversation with digital tools? It's going to make things even worse than they are. Right.
So I want to ask you, I guess, right there about how you're defining empathy in this case, because, how are you defining it?
This is actually a really, really good question. There are philosophers that have asked these questions. Yeah. There is Edith Stein that actually wrote an entire book just on empathy alone. So let me define empathy for you, okay? Empathy is not you feeling badly about someone. So let's say like a best friend tells you like their parent died or some really sad situation. You can feel really sorry for them. You can express that sympathy. That's why you even say, I'll give you my sympathies. Right. But that is not empathy. Empathy is being able to go inside that person's soul and actually live that emotion, and that person coming back to you within your own emotional set. So empathy is the thing that sits between the two of you once you establish that emotional connection. So you might say, how the heck can that happen with digital machines, computers? So I had to go back early in my career where I actually helped build this distributed video conferencing system. And I was like in a completely different line of business, but I was asked by 9X Science and Technology in the US, can you come in and help us figure out the sound and this? So anyway, as part of the work, I ended up setting up these 5 Sun computers in central offices across the United States, and these things talk to each other. This is before Skype and the internet video conferencing. Make a long story short, every morning I had to go into these computers remotely and see how they were doing. They would bring me back information. I would make some small tweaks or fine-tunings, but these became part of my life for 3 straight years of my life, okay? And then at some point, as the internet really grew up and things like Skype came out and so on, I had a very simple job, to go into that central office, shut off that computer, pack it up, put it in a box and ship it away. And for the very first time, from the day that I installed it, I saw it again, and there it was sitting on the shelf. It was a very, very simple thing, and I was suddenly overwhelmed with emotions about this thing, plastic in boxes. And it was almost like thinking, for the computer, I've done everything you asked me to. Why are you here to just essentially throw me away now? Okay. And I really felt very difficult. Now, it also doesn't help that these were Unix computers, and the command to actually shut it down is kill. Quite literally, you have to kill it. Kill -9, process, blah, blah, blah. And I felt this was really weird, and I should have probably spoken to a psychologist or something like that. But actually speaking to friends over the years, I find out that this emotion is very common. Like people that went off to college, and they had their microwave, and this microwave sustained them and they kept it for 25 years, and then it eventually dies. People feel badly about throwing out even an old microwave because it has a lot of meaning attached to it. And then you get into things like Roomba vacuum cleaners. This thing should just be doing vacuuming and you leave the house. Well, people actually treat them as pets. They feel badly, oh my God, he got stuck under the couch. They even buy accessories like ears and eyeballs, right? And
so bring this back to empathy for me.
See, yes, so the point is this. Empathy with machines is possible. It's already happening. And then there are a number of examples in healthcare where this is being leveraged already. So for instance, there are robotic seals that are being built. They're very furry, cute creatures with cute eyes.
Yeah.
They actually react.
Yeah.
They're being used with Alzheimer's patients or with the autistic children, and they really measurably, clinically can show these things. Empathy is built when you actually allow people to build an avatar of themselves, and if they guide the avatar through, let's say, a weight loss program or a behavior change program, people are more likely to even adopt for themselves those changes than if just given the instructions. But it really leverages that really primordial human emotion of connecting with something else. Go ahead, I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, last bit of advice then for a startup company that's in digital that wants to build empathy into their solution. What do they do?
Well, I think it really pays to spend some time not thinking as engineers or even graphic designers or user experience, but really start thinking as human beings. And how would I want this thing to interact with me, to talk to me a certain way, to build certain, even pauses in an exchange that will actually make me feel closer to this thing. Because if you can actually create these small little subtle opportunities to build up this type of understanding between the two, then you get much stronger connections between the solution that you're providing and that person as a patient.
Awesome. This is like such a nice, more human future of healthcare. I love it.
I think it is going to be the future, because where things tend to fail in the digital projects is the inability for people to really connect with these solutions. So we need to start paying attention to this.
Awesome. Gerry, thanks for the advice and the story. I love it. I'm Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health. Thanks for joining us.